Look, if you're worried about this being the same old Scream done over again, it ain't. What up, y'all? So let's talk about Scream 6 for a minute, because I know the question on everybody's mind is this worth watching? So I'm gonna explain to you why it is and what's coming with future installments. Oh, and let me give a spoiler warning early, because I might give away some kind of plot point, and if you haven't seen it yet, you want to be surprised. So the biggest change in the movie, which we all already knew about, is that Sidney, Neve Campbell, was not in this film. And that was the biggest element into making this film successful, because they weren't tied down to a Sidney storyline. They didn't have to figure out how to write it in and how to make it make sense. No, they could come from a whole different angle, and that's what I really appreciated. How they basically soft rebooted everything and came harder with another type of storyline without her involved, something that they could build and help build up the other characters. Let us get to know other people. Let us relate to everyone else. We didn't need Sydney at this point, and she didn't need the film. It was like a mutual win-win that she was not in this. Trust me. And the second part of this was the violence and the mayhem that came along with this film. I mean, it was brutal. The brutality in this film was on point. I mean, it was turned up to 1,000, G. And they didn't miss a beat. They didn't miss a beat. They were in it, and they fully made you feel like you were in it. They made you feel like in any second somebody could get knocked on their ass. It was a lot of violence in this, and it wasn't just you're waiting for somebody to see who gets killed. Anybody could have got killed at any time. There was so much killing and people getting hurt and all this stuff. It was just, it made it fun, but also made it so there was something at stake for everyone. You didn't know what was going to happen, and that was a major improvement from the last ones. And I think it had to do with having the big city aspect. Everything else was in the small towns, and you see them going through the suburb neighborhoods, and it's quiet, and then people getting caught up, getting killed. They're in a big city, it's people everywhere, people running around, screaming, there's all kinds of stuff going on, and it made it much more human, and it made it much more able to be stomached about it being a Scream film. Also, side note, there wasn't a bunch of random jump scares or anything like that, and that's what I appreciated. They didn't force the jump scares in there. This was more like a thriller to me. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like a horror movie, it was more like a thriller. You know what I mean? Where you find out the mystery, and it was a detective element involved. And that's where I think the new direction for this, and a lot of other scary movies that have been more successful lately, is they're not trying to do too much with the jump scares and too much with that, but they're really trying to, one, creep you out, but two, give it an element of reality, and then also make it more intense. And that is what you're gonna get from this Scream film. And I think a lot of the past ones since number 1 really have been missing, especially number 5. Number 5 was garbage. I don't care what nobody say, number 5 was trash. I left the movie theater upset. So that leads me into the last thing. The whole, soft reboot, AKA they kind of had someone who was paying homage to all the previous killers, and they just really took their time to make it the type of film that you can build a story around, and they really can honestly go so many directions with this story. Another huge thing was Tara was fighting her own demons in this. And you can see that because obviously since her dad was the first killer, she's wrestling with that, and also how she's taking pleasure in doing these violent acts. And you really can see how it's cultivating her to be a ghost face in future films. Now, will they follow that storyline? I don't know, but I think it would pay off, especially to have the next few films as not somebody trying to attack the good guys, but let's have the good guys be so twisted. Let's get Gale, let's get all them to be Ghostface just because they're tired of being terrorized. So now they're going to terrorize other people. I would love to see that come in a future film. But what do y'all think? Did you see Scream 6? Are you into it? Are you done with the Scream series? Let's talk about it in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions, but this is a strong film to me. Go put this on your list. Go check it out. You won't be sorry, especially if you like thrillers. Look, I appreciate you stopping by. As always, I got more reactions, more reviews, More news coming your way, so definitely hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. All right? So look, until next time, please be safe and remember, always speak your truth. All right? I'm out.